back at that place where the railway is on its way to serve industry in the Alberni Inlet area. That's how it was before, and that's how it could be again. I kind of think I'm just in the in-between part. Here's the location of my hike, Vancouver Island on the west coast of British Columbia, and the little red dot is the rough location northeast of the city of Port Alberni. Here is the E&N Railway's Port Alberni subdivision working its way from Parksville near the right side of the map to Port Alberni on the left side. And then the railway working its way up the coast is part of the Victoria subdivision heading up to Courtenay. And the red line is my hike. It's along 4 miles of this E&N Railway. Here's a close-in map of the location near McLean Mill and on the Beaufort slope. The red circle, that's my starting and ending point, the National Historic Site. That red circle is where I accessed the E&N at mile 29.65 at the start of my hike. Red circle bottom right is my turnaround point. That's mile 26. Way up at the top, that little red circle is the westerly extent of my hike near the end. I made it to about mile 30.2 before I left the railway. And that is the extent of my hike. The red line is on the way out, turning around at mile 26 and heading back. And then the blue line, I continue on the railway to a trestle near mile 30, and then take a different set of logging roads and trails back to the McLean Mill property. So here's a close look at the McLean Mill property and the various trails to get up to the railway. That little red circle is the parking area, start and end of my hike. That's me in the morning getting from the mill up to the railway. And that's me heading back down from the railway, tired, slow, getting back to the parking lot. Here's McLean's Mill parking lot at 5:20 a.m., about 40 minutes before sunrise. And I'll walk the railway spur into the mill site. Right here is the station platform for when they ran trains from Port Alberni train station here to the site. There's been no train activity here since summer 2018. Hopefully again in the future, but that is uncertain. McLean Mill. Here's where the mill spur has a runaround track right beside this shed with the old caboose. There's the Buddha gasoline locomotive and the various buildings of the mill site here. I got out of bed at 3:45 a.m. started driving at 4:15. Happy to be here. Straight ahead is the Beaufort slope, the western slope of the Beaufort Range, and partway up that is the E&N Railway, and that's what I'm walking towards. But first, the quiet of the mill site. I love this scene every single time. I love stopping here. There are so many wonderful things here on this site. Looking back, It's the logging demonstration area. And time to continue moving out of the property towards the mountain. I love this moment, breaking into this cut area on a nice gentle upward slope. Here's a logging road to the left and to the right, but I go across and take the trail straight ahead, which is the log train trail connector. Surprisingly enough, it takes me to the log train trail, which runs at the base of these mountains. Straight up there on the mountain slope, partway up, is the mile 29.9 Trestle, and I'll do that near the end of my hike. Looking back at where I came from, and I'm going into the woods. So here's the log train trail going left and right, and I'm just going to the right, and then almost immediately up the little trail to the Beauforts, which takes me to the railway. The informational sign. And I go up to the left. I don't do hills very well, and I'm thankful this is a short one, but this is the third time I've done this, and I've learned just slow and steady. Just a little trickle of water on the creek. I was here in February, there's a lot of water, and then I was here at the end of May, still a lot of water to cross. That's where I came from, and where I'm still going. Lots of rock during the rainy time of the year. This is walking up a little creek. I'm almost at the railway. Almost there. The railway is just around the corner to the left. Here we are, mile 29.65. Okay, 6 a.m. on the railway. It is high growth here. Lots of weeds, grass, all the leaves on the trees. So I take caution for things like ticks, which I know like to live on the broom weeds. So I'm careful around those. My plan is to get all the way to mile 26, and if the broom allows, until then I am in familiar territory. I love this area. This is the third time I've been here this year. Hopefully once more. It'll be once in each season. So my goals for today's hike is always, first and foremost, to get outside, get exercise, and enjoy being in the outdoors. Enjoy being in my element. I just love this. It had been too long since I was last doing a hike of this length. It was just about a month ago, and that was too long from the hike previous to that. I've had an odd spring and summer season so far where I've just been struggling with finding enthusiasm and motivation, and so from time to time I literally force myself to get out and do what I know I'm going to enjoy, and that's today. I decided last evening that I really needed to do something, and I know I enjoy this. It was easy to prepare for. I know what to expect, and I wanted to then get this done before some more hot weather sets in. Another goal of the hike is to see how the railway grade and structures have changed just because of the passage of time, and any windfalls and rock falls and other changes to the scene. There are a lot of recreational users who use this corridor for hiking, running, biking, ATVing probably, and they take care of it. Last time I was here, I had my little garden snippers with me, and I snipped a lot of branches and some of the broom plants that were encroaching, and other people with bigger tools make a difference with the problem windfalls. I love the track culvert. Simple structure. The water is not flowing now, but it was the other times I've been here this year. Just like piano keys. Concrete forms supporting each tie. And the gap between each tie is just like the gap between ties on the ground. Water comes down, goes through, and goes on down. And now, Tree Alley. There's a lot of trees down in the next little while. Some of them from wind, but a lot of them from the heavy snow from last winter. And you can see they're just bent over by the heavy snow. Simple route around here. Hey-o. That's my Freddie Mercury tribute bear and animal call. Go this way. I know the way through, and this is the same as it's been the last two times I've been here. The last time was 10 weeks ago. I've learned for this group, I go down. And we break out into some open area as I approach mile 29. Oh, this is nice. Hey, milepost 29 on the right. This is what I was thinking of when I decided to do this hike today. It's one of my favorites. I like the interesting start and stop at McLean Mill for both ends of the hike. And I just love this kind of area. It's a good thing to be grateful. This is far more spectacular in October with the color of the leaves. Relatively speaking, the ties are in pretty great shape compared to other ones on this subdivision. That's it. Oh, a nice view. Okay, continue railway eastward. I enjoy this next mile. There's a lot of maple trees, again spectacular in October, and there's interesting windfall trees that are easy to get by and just add to the beauty of the scene. And clear, cool areas like this. Nice variety between mile 28 and 29. Okay, from a little bit of a grassy track to some short broom plants now. Back to a pretty grassy area on the tracks. So this part of the railway last saw a train in early 2002, and the last freight customer was the pulp mill in Port Alberni, and they switched to trucks for their supplies. So now things like limestone slurry come by rail car from the mainland to Vancouver Island at the rail yard in Nanaimo, and then a truck goes to the rail yard and takes that material one truckload at a time to Port Alberni over the highway. The railway is owned by the Island Corridor Foundation, which is made up of regional districts and First Nations on Vancouver Island, which the corridor runs through. This Parksville to Port Alberni rail route is an invaluable corridor connecting the deep sea port of Port Alberni and its industry and all its potential with the east coast of the island at Nanaimo, which then connects by rail barge to the mainland and 4 different Class 1 railways in North America. It's an invaluable corridor, and sometime in the future it might be needed again, and so that's why it's still a railway. It just hasn't seen trains for 20 years and would need a lot of upgrades for trains to run again, but the corridor still exists, and in the meantime I enjoy walking on it and keeping note of its condition and just enjoying the history. Nice. All right, through that. These windfalls are easy to navigate. Okay, lots of growth here because there's moist soil between the tracks. So every time I've come through here, there's an evidence that this is a high growth area. And then in the fall and winter, it's much more bare. The seasonal growth has withered away. Now a bit of the hay field. Again, I'm between the rails. There's the grease box at mile 28.3 or something like that. Just my estimation. That's nice. What a beautiful area. Here is the tangent stretch with mile 28 coming up. And here's the mile 28 sign. easier to see, I did some landscaping last time I was here to improve the sight line. This is a great mile post because coming up just on the left is a lovely trackside little waterfall. Lovely sounds. Here's that large stump. It's been here for a couple of years. The sun rose about an hour ago, but I haven't seen direct sunlight yet because of the mountains. It's the rural neighborhoods below me, north of town. Here's another grease box, maybe mile 27.7 or so. And the black area here is not fire, it's grease. Coming up to the historic and continuing Rockslide area. I keep on expecting there to be a whole lot more come down freshly, but not the case. But there's evidence of all the historic cleanups. Well, not quite as dramatic as Frank, Alberta. On my hikes, I like breakout moments where the scenery changes, like this, coming into an open track area. Easy to walk. Because I have a brain like an archive, it's easy for me to remember places I've been before. First time I was ever at this area of the railway, I came up there from the Cherry Creek area of Horn Lake Road. Came up to the railway steep trail, and now I prefer to come in from McLean Mill. Here's another rock cut that I enjoy every time I see. This one indicates that I'm almost at the site of the mile 27.3 trestle. No more. The trestle was removed in 1971 and the track was rerouted to hug the slope. So I like that kind of history. Here's one of many places along the railway where spare rail is stored, about every mile or so. But I'm in the new grade that was blasted out and built in 1971 to bypass the trestle scene. On the right, on the other side of these rocks, is the original route, which is a rock cut approaching the trestle on the east end. I love to walk in there and see the original route. It's just so darn obvious and pretty. And it's just through here on the right. But first I'll turn around and give us a view looking back. And the original grade through there. I love light like this. Yeah. The train would just run through this rock cut, and at the end of it would be the start of the trestle going across the gully up until 1971 from 1911. And straight across. Oh my Alberni Valley, you are beautiful. There's the piece of wood that I always like to notice. That would have been part of the abutment, I think. Ah, so beautiful. Okay, back to the main line, and I'll continue eastward. It's the new rock cut. Up here on the left is the obvious old clearing where equipment and materials were working during the 1971 trestle removal and rock cut project. Just an obvious clearing right near the job site. Another grease box. And coming up to a lovely view in the morning here with the morning sun not yet shining down on the tracks. I am thankful for that, both for photography and for just comfort. But I'll get it on my way back, I'm pretty sure. Oh, that is nice. Up ahead at what would be milepost 27, it's missing, is sunshine on the tracks. Some more sunshine, and here's where I cross the Forest Service Road, about mile 26.9 or so. This is nice into a little bit of shade. Lovely built-up area on either side. Here comes the BC Hydro electricity lines, and these are the lines that feed the Alberni Valley and then Tofino and Ucluelet area. And to the left they go over the mountain to Horn Lake and then connect with the main Vancouver Island trunk line. There's rails still here, just covered with the rocks that were all moved around from people driving over them with their ATVs and motorbikes maybe. That's just my guess. The worst part of the Broom will be right here. So I'm going to see if I can get through this okay. Ticks are the problem, that's what I'm worried about. That wasn't bad looking back. I will continue. Okay, I think I'm through the worst of the Broom, and now coming to another tall built up area with a creek flowing by. Okay, enough of that scene. Bear scat. Even though we're high up on both sides on a filled in grade, I guess it's a bear corridor as well as a corridor for me. Ah, this is pretty. Time to stop for a photograph here. Wow. Tree tunnel of sunlight. This is a popular mountain biking area. Trails going down the slope and continuing on their way up the slope. I'm almost at mile 26, which is my traditional turnaround point when I'm doing this hike. Oh yeah, mile 26 on this lovely summer morning. Okay, my halfway break is completed. Time to head 4 miles westward. So far it hasn't been too buggy, just some bugs bugging me when I've stopped to do a photograph. And other than that, I just keep on moving, so that's fine. I'm always hearing airplanes when I'm doing hikes around here. And into the dark Evergreen Alley. This is lovely. I like the sun streaming in through the side, sound of the creek. There's the whistle sign. Hey, -o. I'll obey the sign. And we're back to this lovely spot. Lots of ferns down there, and bugs too, and a nice creek. Okay, time to stop and brush off the bugs. But first, the view. Nice. Here on the wide angle video, railway on the right hand side, covered with rocks. And there's the hydro line going down to the Alberni Valley. Lots of loose rock. And we finally got the low light Mike shadow. Here's the Forest Service Road. About mile 26.9. I'll show you the crossbuck. It's hiding in the seasonal growth. So far so good. This is fun. This is just what I needed. Nice, simple railway walk. Enjoying what I do. Coming up to the E&N Railway used car lot in our inventory today. So one vehicle. And this is also where I like to imagine milepost 27 is. This This is the first curve west of the Forest Service Road. Port Alberni on this hot Saturday morning. I love this rock cut. The tall rocks standing like sentinels, marking the entrance to the old grade. And one more time. Let's do it. I'm so thankful at how many times I've seen this year. Yeah. Current rail line is on the other side of those rocks. Let's get back to it. So yeah, it's been 51 years since the 1971 project here. Dismantling the trestle, abandoning this old grade, and using the new grade. So yeah, there's something for me that's just magical, wonderful about reading things in the Robert Turner history books of the E&N Railway, and then seeing them and seeing evidence of them. I'm in the curve that wraps around the gully of this creek. Looking through there is where the trestle would have gone across from left to right. Okay, some wide-angle video to capture the wide scene. Walking back towards my main camera on the tripod. It's shooting video of the sun and the sun rays moving across the rock face. Okay, that was a lot of fun working the Rockslide area. Alright, continue westward, back into the shade. It's about 18 degrees Celsius right now at 9:30 a.m. Oh, this is magical. Hey, milepost 28. Okay, the next mile between 28 and 29 is going to have a lot of spots like this. The cool shade with lots of lush growth, a fair number of trees down, and just lots of beauty, and of course lots of maple leaves that are going to be gorgeous when we get to October. There's 4 of these, and coming up is some serious overgrowth just for a short distance. This is probably about mile 28.3 or so, something like that. Oh yeah, the rails. There are rails here. It was really hard to see them there. Mind you, it was just hard to move. Those were thick weeds. And more flowers. Oh yeah, this guy's thick. Up ahead is the mile 28.9 bridge. Yeah, nice simple structure. Alright, here is mile 29. Hard to see into the sun with the trees. Alright, let's find some shade. And there's a lot of it coming up. Oh yeah, this is cool. Feels nice. Here comes Obstacle Alley. So these first 2 are just warm-up ones. They're easy. And then there's the spot where I have to crawl under, crouch a bit, not clunk my head. Oh yeah, down under, rusty color. I'm halfway. Okay, through that. And some more. And then the track culvert. There was a lot of that bent over damage from heavy snow from the winter of 2021-22. Truck Culvert, here we come. It's just a nice fun landmark. Mile 29.5 or so, and just at the end of it is the crossing of the trail that I came up this morning. Oh, that rock face. Oh, nice. Hey, oh. Here's the trail crossing. I came up from the left this morning. This is mile 29.65. I'm going to continue down the railway because just a little ways down the railway is mile 29.9 Trestle. I want to see that. Yeah, that's where I came up from. Third time I've come up that route, and it is a successful way. And this is what it looks like. End is around the corner. I like it. You can't see the end. $29.9 is the mileage stenciled on the fire barrel platform. Yeah, a lot of these ties are just crunchy, soft. Not good. Into the sun, harsh light. Okay, let's continue westward. Coming up on the right, I see the green triangle for resume speed. It means on the left, there's the mile post, and there's the slow order shown the other way. There's mile 30. Resume speed. If I had any energy, I would. There's the 10-mile-an-hour slow order sign. Alright, it's warm. I got the sun behind me. It smells like summer grass in a field. And in a few moments, I'm going to turn left and leave the railway and head down a series of logging roads and trails. Okay, bye-bye railway. You've been fun today. Just over 3.5 miles out and just over 4 miles back. So we'll call that 8. Here's the intersection. Log train trail to the left and to the right. And if I kept going straight, that old logging road would probably take me to Smith Road. And that's where I came from, a meandering logging road up to the E&N. So I'm going to go left on the log train trail. This is an old railway grade for the Alberni Pacific Lumber Company. So it's flat and straight. Back at the intersection of the log train trail and the connector trail, and then up on the left the trail up to the Beauforts, which goes to the railway. I was here about 5:30 a.m. and now I'm here just a little ways after 11:30, 6 hours later. Back into the open, working my way back to McLean Mill. There's Mount Klitza. That's up behind Sprout Lake. Looking back at where I came from, and ahead into the woods, and then the hay field, and then the barn, and then the mill site. Okay, I'm finishing up at McLean Mill, National Historic Site. Thanks very much for watching this video. I appreciate you.